Thank you, and good evening from the UK. So it's just after 8 o'clock here, and I'm happy to present my Get Your Sexy Back little nugget of information. So the first thing I'd want to ask you, and without thinking too much, what does sexy mean to you? That word sexy, what does it mean? Put it in the chat. And now I want you to think about, is it the same thing that you thought 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? And if it's different, why is it different? What makes that word sexy change as we move through life? Now, I work with midlife women, and primarily midlife women sort of have that image of sexy being youthful, being curvaceous, being having that spark, even swinging from the chandeliers, something like that. That word sexy. But one of the things I found that's an external view. That's an image that's come to us, that's been presented throughout our lives. And then when we get to midlife, for some unknown reason, it changes. And we might not think about that sexy in terms of how you look and how you feel and how it empowers you. Now, think about somebody that you would perceive as sexy. How do they present themselves? Are they humped over? Do they drag their feet? Do they look tired? No, they don't. Sexy comes from inside. It's not an external thing, it's from the inside. And how you present yourself is what really the word sexy means. So if we think about it, let's lose the sex bit because somehow we focus on the sex bit. I'm not saying it's not important because it is, but we've got to think about it from the inside out. You see, as you're walking down the street, somebody who's confident, walking upwards, they know themselves. And that's when I talk about sexy. Now, this is me, a midlife empowerment coach, a Crone goddess advocate, a regional director of a global woman club, an author, public speaker. But if you notice, what's in bold? Me. That's what I'm talking about. It's the me that we tend to lose as we go into midlife. We have that focus on other things. But for me, we have to focus on what midlife means. Now, I've worn the t-shirts, sold the t-shirt, still wearing the t-shirt as I've hit my midlife. And I've actually worn masks, many masks, as a lot of us do. We have that mask that we hide behind because for some reason, as we go into midlife, we start to feel invisible, feel like we're on the shelf, left behind. And if this isn't controversial, what about those wolf whistles that we sort of miss out on all the time that we used to have them back in the day? Somehow, women have lost that spark. And there's a number of reasons why we've lost that spark as we've traveled along our journey. Because we've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten how much we mean to ourselves because we've actually put everything and everybody else first. You're either the wife, the mother, the caregiver, the boss, the taxi driver, the housekeeper, sex goddess as well. Everything to everyone. But what we've got to think about, who's the me? Who am I? Because that is actually the most important label. Who am I? Most importantly, who am I right now? So we need to drop those labels of the past. So in my 6 weeks program, I look at it in first week is thinking about who are you? You need to find out who you are. Can you tell me who you are? Have you given yourself that label of This is my role. That's who I am. That's my identity. I used to be a senior lecturer. And when I was in employment, it was like, oh, who are you? I'm a senior lecturer. Well, that's not really me. So my question to you, who are you? Can you actually answer the question? And can you stand in front of the mirror and ask yourself that question, looking yourself straight in the eye and be able to come up with that honest answer? Part of my program, as I developed it, it is over 6 weeks. The first week is about your identity, reclaiming that identity, losing the ones that society has put on us, making sure that we strip away all the things that we no longer serves us. If you're a midlife woman, there's so much going on in your life, but it's time to put yourself first. So we need to look at reclaiming our identity. Week 2, others have spoken about the inner critic, and the inner critic brings up self-doubt. That's where you start questioning yourself. Can I wear this? Can I wear that? Does it make a difference? You know, you start looking at yourself in a different way, not appreciating actually who you actually are now in the present moment, because you spend that time with those labels. So we need to build our mental resilience. We need to quieten the noise and listen. I haven't said that inner coach that can actually tell you who you are, that supports you, that lets go of those labels that we had. We need to listen to that voice and take charge. We need to think about taking charge, letting go of all it. Now, I just want you to close your eyes. And this is about reclaiming your sensuality. So close your eyes, and I want you to stroke your face with your hands. Feel your side of your face, feel your chin, stroke down your neck. And if you can, stroke your arms, move all the way down to your fingertips. Get into that feeling of who you are. This is about reclaiming your sensuality, going with movement, feeling who you are, reconnecting with your body. We talk about self-care all the time. We talk about bubble baths, we talk about face masks. This isn't about that. This is about actually getting really deep. What actually nourishes you, what fills you up, what makes you sing. You're finding that nourishment here. And this is self-love because you're putting yourself first. Week 5, break free from expectations. There are no expectations, only yours. This is your boundaries. What are your boundaries? What do you want to let go of? Can you say no and accept it as a full sentence? Because that's what it is. You can say no. You don't have to explain anything after that. You say it with grace and firmness, and you let go. You put your own rules in, and you decide what you want to achieve. Week 6, bring it all together. Our divine feminine power. We accept who we are and we celebrate who we are. This is a reawakening. It's reaffirming who you are, who you've always been, but bringing it to the forefront. And that's my program for 6 weeks, one-to-one. Get your sexy back and beyond.